So today, since it's May 20th and the trails are still closed, haven't been able to get much footage, so I thought that I would do a walk around. Haven't done one before, so I've done quite a few mods to this bike, and it's about time that I tell you about them. So one of the first things that I did to the DR650 was to put on Oxford heated grips. Great addition. I always wanted heated grips on my motorcycle. Finally got them on this one. First thing I did, and I really like them a lot. Here's the controller for it, which I mounted using one screw right here, but it's solid. It's on there. Really, anything below 50%, you can't even hardly feel it. But the 50, 75, and 100% I use all the time. You know, even in the summer. You know, in the mornings when it's really cool, I'll use that, and keeps my hands nice and warm. Don't even have to have gloves if I don't want to. I don't wear gloves a lot. If you'll see from my videos, some people have kind of gotten on me about not wearing gloves when I'm off-roading, but hey, that's just me. I like to be able to feel the controls. Now, they were a little difficult to put on, especially this throttle side, because the original grips will not come off. You have to literally whittle them off piece by piece, and then do a little bit of modification to the throttle sleeve as well. But overall, once I got all that done, it wasn't too hard. Got those on. I'm really happy with them. Next thing I did is probably the mirrors, I think. Those big old DR650 mirrors were just a little too gaumy for me. Still have them over here. Here they are. Wanted something a little more sleek, so I went with these. It's a set off eBay. Paid about 30 bucks for them. But overall, really happy with them. And they mount into the same holes that the originals do. So it's just this section that gets replaced. And I've crashed them a bunch of times. Dropped the bike a bunch of times. And they've held up really well. So I'm happy with those. I think they look good too. I also got this USB charger, which I use for my cameras and mostly my cell phone. I'm pretty happy with it. It works well. There were two USB connectors in it. The only thing I don't like is that blue LED light. It glows all the time. You can't turn it off. And it will drain the battery down. You know, LEDs don't take a lot of power, but it will take the battery down if you give it a chance. So overall, I like it a lot better without the LEDs. Next is the RAM mount for the cell phone. Really like this a lot. About 50 bucks, but it's well worth it. Moves into just about any position you want. Holds the cell phone nice and steady. You'll see it in a lot of my videos. And going over all the bumpy trails. Never had a problem with holding my cell phone at all. Always nice and steady. And right up front here again, still got the bark busters. That was one of the first things I did. Can't complain about those. Again, I've dropped it a number of times right on the bark buster. And you know, sometimes it moves a little bit, but now that I've used them a bit, got them tightened up, they don't move very much at all. They're really solid. So, definitely a good addition. And rolling right up front here, got the LED headlight, which is nice and bright. That's high beam, low beam. I like that a lot. Nice white light. You hear a fan when I turn the bike on a lot of times. It's not a fuel pump, as you might think. It's just a fan for the headlight. It's an LED light. Even though LEDs don't produce a lot of heat, apparently this one's enough, so it needs a fan. Along with the LEDs, I also have a rear LED, which isn't a lot brighter than the original, but it does have the flashing feature. If I can hit it here with my foot. Flashes 3 times as a safety feature, which I like. People don't run into me. While we're at it here, the FMF exhaust that I put on, I have a full video on that you can see. Overall, I really like it. It's good. It's a little loud, especially when cruising, but as far as puttering around the trails and stuff, it's great. Love it. Also have these case savers, one on each side. I have a full video on installing those and why I installed them. I did get a hole in my case, so that was a good reason to put those on. Also have this amp fuel filter cover and the SW Motec bash plate. I'm a little iffy on. I've liked it. It's protecting my engine. I hear rocks banging off it all the time. I really like how it installs, and I think it has a lot better installation than some of the competitors. But I gotta say, it's not quite thick enough. It's made of aluminum, I believe, and it has bent. As you can see, I've dragged this bike over a downed tree, and it did put a lot of pressure on that and did bend it up to the frame rails. There's supposed to be a gap here, but there isn't anymore. And it did actually fail in its job of protecting my engine. Over on this side, I dropped the bike on a rock, and you can see a little deformation right here. And that actually pushed into the side cover and caused a hole, which made all the oil leak out on the trail, which wasn't great. So I would prefer that this actually be a little more heavy duty. But it is what it is, and now I've got these side covers on here, so I'm not too worried about it anymore. I did actually replace the horn as well, just for the fun of it, because my original horn actually wasn't working. It turned out to be a switch issue, but I bought a replacement anyway. And some of them require full relays and attaching to the battery and everything. This one was a kind of a lower power one, so it did not require reattaching any relays or anything like that. It runs off the original wiring, and it's pretty loud. Actually, it's really loud. So I like that. Next would be my storage box. I like to ride alone a lot, so I take a lot of gear with me, mostly recovery gear. I've gotten stuck a couple of times, which you'll see in some of my videos, where it's been really difficult to get the thing out, where it weighs so much and I'm by myself and it gets stuck in the mud. So I keep a recovery kit with me. A couple of tools in it. This is my recovery kit. And fits very well. Right in there. A bottle of water, my registration, and everything's good. And this case itself is a waterproof case, a water resistant case, that is actually just a toolbox that I got from Home Depot. It's a rigid toolbox. And I got 2 plates, one on the bottom here, one on the inside, which screws down through it. Overall, pretty good setup. I like it. It's been strong. Keeps all my gear in it just fine. So in my case here, I have some recovery gear I'd like to bring with me. Number one is a winch. I haven't actually had to use that yet. Hope I never do. But it's just something for me to be able to pull the bike out if I need to. So got a strap for towing, pulling, and this is probably one of the best things that I have. This is a traction mat, fully metal. This helps me get out of a lot of stuff. Got some teeth on the bottom for grabbing in. I have used this before, works really well. Tire rides right over there. That's about as much traction as you are going to get in any situation. I also have these plastic versions, which I've attempted to use before but have never actually had any success with them. So I actually have two of these. I keep one of them with me just because they're light and I've got room for them. But this metal one is really the one that has helped me the most. Fold it up into a little square. Tuck that right back in there. So, also, I've got the Dunlop DR650 tires front and back. I've put only a couple hundred miles on them, but I can tell you right now they're a hell of a lot better off-road than the trail wings. They do vibrate quite a bit for me. Some people say they don't balance them. I balance mine, and they still vibrate quite a bit. But that can be expected just because of the very aggressive tread. So I'm not too concerned about that. But I do recommend balancing them. They got a lot smoother after I balanced them. I got the Bike Master balancer, which worked really well. So I think that is about it. I haven't done any engine modifications other than the exhaust. You know, I may rejet it at some point, but I don't really want to open up the airbox, so I'll probably just leave it the way it is. I don't want to do any mods to that because I do go through deep water quite a bit, and I don't want to take out the snorkel. So I probably will not rejet it or anything. Just leave it as is. Oh, hold on, I forgot about one thing, which is these Warp 9 levers. Those work really well. Adjustable. I can do my 2-finger control with them, which I like. And that, I think, is about it. So, let me know what you think.